Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting as usual from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta, and it is a beautiful day today. We've got a great show today. We've got two partners with Taylor English, Marc Taylor and Michele Stumpe, and Marc and Michele are going to tell us about Taylor English and their fantastic story of growth and client service here in a second. Before we get to Marc and Michele, I just want to remind you that if you are at one of those bigger mega banks that is treating you like a number and you can't find a live person to save your soul, Renaissance Bank is there. And here's what I hear from the clients that I refer to Renaissance. They're big enough to handle pretty much any need you can throw at them as a business, but they're small enough to deliver their services in a personal way. They really pride themselves on that type of work with clients. So if that's what you're looking for in a bank, renaissancebank.com is your first stop. They've got some 200 offices around the South ready to serve you, open and willing, and they answer the phone, by the way. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. Now, I want to welcome Marc Taylor and Michele Stumpe. And Marc, Michele are with the law firm Taylor English, headquartered here in the Atlanta area. Marc, Michele, welcome.
Thank you for having us, John.
It's a pleasure to have you. Let's talk a little bit about your firm, Taylor English, and give us a little bit of the backstory, if you will, of Taylor English and how you're serving folks out there.
Thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to having this discussion. So our partners come from a variety of other law firms. We have grown this business basically one lawyer at a time, finding folks that have the same basic general belief and value system that we try to create. And its primary driver is value driven. It's like many of your listeners, they understand the need to get customers. We understand the need to maintain customers. We understand the need that customers look for value. And in a business that we think is short on a value-driven purpose, we saw an opportunity in the middle of the 2000s to go out and say, can we do something differently? And it started with 4 lawyers. And around 2008, we actually had formed this business we now call Taylor English & Duma, and have grown it since to approximately 140 lawyers in multiple states, with offices in 2 other cities, physical offices and outposts in 6 or 7 other cities aside from Atlanta. And it's basically been driven, frankly, basically one lawyer at a time. We've had a couple acquisitions, but really one lawyer at a time, and frankly, one customer at a time. And the purpose of the firm, we call ourselves the purpose-built law firm, is to drive value to our clients. Now, we view our clients in a lot of different buckets. Obviously, the people who hire us to provide high-end commercial legal services is one bucket. Now, all of our partners are another bucket, and we view them as partners and as clients as well, because ultimately our need to drive value to them and our ability to do so in terms of what they are looking for in their career as compared to what they might have had in a traditional vertically levered law firm is a thing we are able to provide because of how we have set up the business model. Hearing about our sponsor, as we're talking about the big bank business, the way they position their bank is very similar to the way we try to position our law firm. Mm-hmm. We are not a mega law firm, although we have a lot of lawyers. We run as if we're basically still a very small business, and you get that same degree of personal care, personal relationship. You get the same degree of service that you get. You don't get stuck in some morass of non-value driven legal work. You get folks that understand it from a business standpoint. And what we've done is taken that smaller model and put some scale to it. And that's what our basic thesis is. We can take that level of service and drive it by creating scale, because this is not only what clients who we sell legal want, it's what lawyers want. Mm. And that's what's allowed us to grow as quickly as we've had. Michele is our managing partner and runs the day-to-day operations of the legal business. And I think she probably has similar thoughts, but probably maybe with a little different spin, because we all come from different places as we walk into this business.
Yeah. Now, Michele, one of the things that I learned about you is that you actually started a firm of your own. You've got big law in your background, so you bring a unique perspective to where you sat as managing partner of the firm. Talk about how that experience informs you today.
Absolutely. I loved working in a big law firm from the standpoint of having the breadth of resources and having lots of people that you could go to. If I had a client that needed an area of practice that was outside of my area of practice, I have plenty of people that I could go to. But the law firm has a lot of limitations. The big law firm has a lot of limitations. And I was in a firm where if you didn't, the managing partner would walk around, and if your light wasn't on every day at a certain time and you didn't log into your computer at a certain time, then people were looking at you funny, wondering why you weren't in your office billing as much as you could. And I was one of the highest billers, but I came into the office at 9:00 but I left at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And so as a young lawyer at a big law firm, I felt this need and desire for a little bit more flexibility. And I also had constraints with my clients with respect to the ability to provide services or be creative with respect to either flat fees or alternative billing arrangements. Different clients have different needs. So that drew me and a couple of my other partners to start our own firm, which I managed for a couple of years. And then I went out on my own for about 7.5 years. And I enjoyed the ability of Marc was saying, and your sponsor, having that small personal touch and being able to really partner with my clients and provide them with a unique and intrinsic value. But I did not like the dealing with the overhead. I wanted to practice law, not call the copy machine people or deal with the insurance. Mm-hmm. And so when I was recruited by Taylor English shortly after it started, I came in 2006. And it was a wonderful opportunity because it tapped into my entrepreneurial spirit. I had the flexibility of being able to work with clients. And I think in a lot of new business owners, that's how they feel. We want to really be able to meet. There's a gap. There's a need in the market. We want to be able to do that. And we want to do it in a way that it fits our culture and our desire of what we want to be. And so that's what Taylor English offered me. And I do a lot of charity work. I've started a couple of different charities, and being able to focus on that and work on those kinds of things without having that overriding questioning of big law was very attractive to me, and still work a lot. I just work on weekends sometimes, but it gives you that flexibility. And in fact, one of the charities was a client had a need, and we started the Giving Kitchen, which is an organization that's now grown nationally out of here in Atlanta. But that's just an example of the ability, because of this law firm's model, that I had to work with clients and help them start a charity that benefited the entire food service industry.
So what is it, do you think, about the model itself that has attracted so much legal talent to your firm? I mean, because we're talking about some significant growth here over less than 2 decades. You've gone from a handful of attorneys that you can count on one hand to 140. That's amazing growth. So you're obviously, there's some specifics to that model, attorneys that want to operate in a different way. What are some of those specifics that you could point to?
I think for a lot of folks that are in a big firm model, and frankly, folks that are operating their own business, the thing they most want is control. money matters, and we have a very generous comp system that pays in real time. Most larger law firms will pay you 35% of what your expected compensation is over 12 monthly draws, and then they'll true you up at the end of the year. We have a real-time comp system that you work it in 1 month, you bill up to next, you collect the third, you get paid when it comes in. And that is a very unusual model, meaning, or for a firm of our size. It's very hard, as you might imagine, because you're always pushing your cash out, which creates challenges of its own from cash flow management, and particularly when you're scaling a business. But it's really found a sweet spot with lawyers that like to control how and why and how, and under the terms in which they engage with their clients. We, as Michele has alluded to, we are not adverse to structuring fees, which a lot of clients like. We frankly shudder at some of the average bill rates that our large firm competitors are quoting these days. There's obviously a Wall Street Journal article last week where they talked about $2,500 an hour legal fees and $600 or $700 an hour first year lawyer fees, which, okay, I get it. That's a very small piece of the market, but to the average consumer, that simply doesn't work. And our premises, our thesis is we can take that talent and put it in a model, again, scope and scale, right? We have about any type of commercial law expert that you need, and we have them in multiple jurisdictions. If we can take that talent and redirect it in a way that's not geared towards maximizing profit for a few people on an annual basis, but rather trying to figure out where to meet our clients, that will be successful no matter who's doing it. And we just happened, I think, to be one of the first firms in the country to try and do this on a brick and mortar platform. There are plenty of what they call virtual law firms out there operating right now, and they've done very well. That's not our model. We applaud them for their success, but that's not the business we want to run. We want to run more of what you would think of as a collaborative law firm where people interact with each other, where they come to the office, where they work on deals together, whether it's litigation or whether it's complex corporate deals. And at the same time, we want to be able to have a rate structure and a value-driven engagement model with not just the clients, but with the lawyers who work here. And what that really is exactly what almost every one of your entrepreneurial clients and your small businesses and medium-sized businesses, what they do every day. It's not a model necessarily that is going to be aimed at a Fortune 1000 company, although we certainly have plenty of those on our client roster, and we do plenty of that work. Our model really is aimed at small and mid-sized businesses who buy legal services the same way they buy every other service from a vendor. And frankly, many of them write those checks from their own personal bank account. And when you do that, value matters. It's not selling discount legal. It's not selling the cheapest solution. It's selling a solution that fits the need of the client. And it's no different than what, again, your audience does every day. It's how they succeed in business.
Sure.
Those rules seem not to apply to the big firm ecosystem, at least not yet.
Yeah. And I was just going to follow quickly up. I think that to highlight some of the aspects, what is it that's attracting people? I think it's the entrepreneurial opportunity to have control over my time and my earning potential, as Marc said, because we do get bonused on a real-time structure. But so you have that aspect of a small firm where you have that control. You also have the benefits of the big firm with the breadth and the depth of the legal resources that I can service my clients in a way and handle all of their needs, and be that trusted resource for my clients and that partner for my clients. And then the other added value of we take care of all the back end, the accounting and all of the office services, so that our attorneys have the ability to go out and do what they do best. And we do it in an environment that is a community where we encourage collaboration and we encourage our attorneys to work together. And we have the bricks and mortar, some of those structures of a standard bricks and mortar law firm, even though we have a lot of other offices where we really find ways to bring people together and collaborate, which again gives us more of an opportunity to service our clients.
Folks, we're here chatting with Marc Taylor and Michele Stumpe, and Marc and Michele are partners with Taylor English, headquartered here in the Atlanta area. One of the things that strikes me as I listen to the two of you talk is I know that there are clients that are you bring on a new attorney and that comes from another firm, and clients come with that attorney because clients want to work with their person, right? Whoever their legal expert is that they've been working for years, and you get clients that way. It strikes me that the client out there that's looking for a new firm that does not have a go-to business attorney, maybe they need to be paying attention to how legal firms operate more than they do. I guess what I'm getting at is if they want to be, it strikes me that clients would want to deal with a firm that is treating their attorney and creating a place for that attorney to grow and stay in place, because stability is a good thing for the client. If their attorney's happy, then they're going to be happy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's interesting. I would imagine a number of your listeners face similar issues that we face. As we grow, you start to have the need to change how you handle community and how you handle culture. We recently appointed one of our partners as our kind of attorney development, associate development partner to really refocus that. COVID hit a lot of us in a way that pulled people apart. And now you've got people really operating more in silos. And at the beginning of this year, we looked at it and we said, we've got to find some ways to start building that stickiness again, where it's not all remote or Zoom. And we've been doing that. We had our fall festival at the firm last week, which was a lot of fun, with pumpkin decorating contests and getting people together. We've got a well-being panel that we actually are inviting our clients to. We've got a couple of experts coming in. This can be available at the firm, but also via Zoom next week. And so just trying to bring some of those different opportunities to address well-being for our people, but also address collaboration and looking at this new world that we have and the new needs that our attorneys and our staff has. I had probably the most exciting thing that's happened in my career happened about a month ago. And it was my biggest client held a luncheon for our team.
Oh, wow.
Usually the ones who are doing it for them. But they held a luncheon to thank our team for the partnership that our law firm has meant to them over the past 4 years. We helped them out of a crisis situation a couple of years ago and have continued to partner. And having all of our paralegals there and our secretaries and our associates and our attorneys and the C-suite people over there expressing that gratitude, just really, to me, nailed in what we're trying to achieve in our firm. And that is that relationship where the general counsel said, I can sleep at night because I know if I've got a problem, Courtney and Sybil are worrying about it for me. And that's, to me, that's the exciting part of what we can offer.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that example up and what you just said about the problems that clients face and how your model and how you handle the talent within your firm and allow them to do what they do, how the specific problems that clients have that addresses is what I'm getting to. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I think that our clients have pain points. Some are predictable, like Marc was talking about earlier. I need a budget rather than an unpredictable set of legal fees. And so we can work with alternative fee arrangements or flat fees. Some of them are not predictable. I do a lot of alcohol licensing, and the Friday before July 4th, a state agent comes in and shuts down your location. That's a crisis moment. And everybody in the office is leaving early, but they know they can call me or they can call anyone on our staff. They've got our cell numbers. And they know that we're going to worry about that for them. And I hate it for our team because I've got paralegals who run around and they're like, we've got to fix this. We've got to fix this. But it's because they care. And I think really that's the overriding aspect of it, is that we're big enough that we can, if we have a client who has an urgent need, we've got people who can handle it. We all work with each other. I might be in Africa, but I've got somebody here who is saying, okay, catch me up. What's going on? I've got you. And that's the relationship that we really try to foster within, is that if I've got a client that has a need and maybe I'm not able to service it, I've got somebody else who can say, I've got this, catch me up to speed, we'll take care of it. And that's our goal, is we want our clients to sleep better at night because of our relationship with them.
So it's not all unicorns and rainbows and butterflies. Building a firm is a challenge particularly when you're growing rapidly. So let's talk about kind of what challenges that you're currently facing as, I guess, something of an early mature company, if you will, and you're expanding into new markets with more attorneys. What are some of the challenges that you're addressing right now as you continue to grow?
Well, success obviously brings attention, and sometimes that attention comes from competitors. And so everybody at this law firm, for the most part, came from another law firm. It is our growth model. We aggressively recruit people. We provide them a vehicle that they don't have, that they can obviously monetize to their benefit. And we think it's a great product offering, but we also have competition. And we have firms that try to poach our people. So you have to be able to be, I think, very aggressive in defending your turf while also trying to grow your business. And one of our challenges is inside of Atlanta, we're fairly well known. Between the lawyers we have here, we're 1 degree of separation from any lawyer in this city, and we can get to most businesses the same way. You may not know someone here, somebody who knows here, and knows somebody who knows somebody here. And that's an easy way, probably the number one way that people pick lawyers, is they don't go on websites. They go on websites, but they ask their friends and their fellow business owners, who do you recommend? In Atlanta, we have a relatively short compared to some firms. We have a very, I think, deep and broad reach in terms of who we are because of how we've grown this business. We've taken the brands of the people that have come here, and we leverage those brands, and it obviously inures to the benefit of the firm as a whole. So part of our growth strategy is we have to get outside of Atlanta if we're going to be a multi-generational, multi-jurisdictional law firm. And if it works in Atlanta, it should work in any comparable macroeconomic business environment, whether it's another city, another state, another region. We are in, I don't know how many states across the country, but it goes from California to New York and down to Florida and up to Wisconsin. And so we're across the country, but our primary focus on growth is going to be for the next couple of years in the southeast part of the country. So we look for markets like Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, Nashville, Washington, D.C. And we are actively looking to create brick and mortar outposts in those markets. We've opened physical offices in Charlotte, in Miami, and we are well on our way towards exploring opportunities in D.C. and in Nashville. All of those cities have something in common with Atlanta. They all have things about their local economy that helps make them immune to broader macroeconomic trends. Obviously, Atlanta is transportation capital of the South. It's also the business hub of the South. Miami is the capital of Latin America, plus it's an amazing real estate market, and it's an amazing healthcare market. Charlotte is the commercial banking capital, maybe of the world. And obviously DC is where they print all the money in this country. Nashville is a great combination of healthcare, entertainment, and frankly, business activity. They all have strong local economies that, frankly, our model should succeed in. But we do not have brand awareness in any of those cities like we have in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So getting to those markets and being able to establish a foothold and be able to grow the business to scale while we are running a business is a challenge we face. But our view is that we are right on this model in terms of the majority, 95% of the legal work that's being sold, commercial legal work out there, has some degree of value attached to it. And if the large firms continue to focus on how much money they make rather than how much value they drive, and understand they're great law firms. I'm not saying they're not. I am saying they have a profit motive that frankly does not exist at our firm because we pay out the cash in real time to people. It creates an opportunity for us because we do not have the same pricing structure. We do not have the same limitations on structuring fees. We do not have the same restrictions that they put on their lawyers. Mm-hmm. All that creates a huge opportunity. We just need to have the time and energy to get out there and grow. And of course, the challenges with any small business, medium-sized business, is you lack the resource to really take advantage of the opportunity. And that's really our primary challenge right now as we try to go from this early mature business, or however you want to say on the cycle where we might fit, in order to get to fully mature. It's going to require us to do some heavy lifting we have not had to do. And I will say that our partners have responded superbly and they are fully engaged and we are working towards it. But for all of your listeners out there who have gone through the same struggle, they get it. They understand where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. And look, there's nothing to do but to move forward with your thesis and commit to it. And I feel like that's what we were doing right now. And the reason I really wanted to come on your show is because I know we have a story that resonates with your audience because they live this every day. Small business trying to become a large business.
Absolutely. And another issue that they have, and maybe we can use this as a way to close out our conversation today, is just maintaining that commitment to the original vision. The vision changes over time by necessity based on circumstances and opportunities. But then there's the original, to use your term, purpose. And how do you continue to grow and maintain a commitment to that original vision?
I'm going to let Michele answer this as soon as I say one thing. I hope as leaders, we have demonstrated a commitment to what we believe to be the right thing to do vis-a-vis our external clients and our internal clients. If we do nothing else other than hold true to that vision of maintaining the need to drive value to them in whatever form that takes, the next generation is going to inherit this business and they will take it the way they see that value proposition playing out. And hopefully they will run with this opportunity and take it where we have gotten it and where it can, from where we have gotten it to where it can go. I'm 61, not planning to be in my chair for more than 4 years. And then I'll keep working probably till I die. It's what we do. But I'm not going to be running this law firm hopefully 4 years from now. Michele, hopefully will be doing it, or someone will be doing it. And our goal is to make sure that next generation inherits this belief that we have and is able to take it where it can go. But Michele kind of is right now tasked with the job of keeping all these constituent parts focused and motivated and looking towards what can be rather than what is today. And I would like to hear her take on it because, frankly, we talk about this a lot. I think she's got a pretty good take on it.
Michele?
Yeah, I think when you have a purpose-driven path, and your purpose is something much bigger than money or profit. When your purpose is something that is helping others, then it allows you to really remain focused, because money can come and go. And obviously we all want to have profitable businesses. But when you get to see firsthand the ability to provide value to clients, to be a trusted resource, to really drive that value in unique ways that aren't out there. And I've always been surprised that we see a couple of other law firms who try to do our model and then don't quite get there. And inevitably, they end up going into one of the traditional ways, or they stay really small and they don't have the breadth to be able to continue to service that. But what we have to offer is so unique. And as Marc said, one of our challenges is that it's hard to describe. It's hard to put it into words and help people understand it in a quick blip, right? So that's why these types of opportunities are great. But having something that is so core, at the core of your sense of integrity, of purpose, of wanting to do something bigger than yourself in life, is what I think helps us keep our vision, because our vision, at the core of our vision, is driving that value. Marc said, not just to our clients, but to the people in our office and to our colleagues, and doing something a bit bigger in life than just trying to make the bottom dollar. And I think we've been very fortunate to see that, gosh, when you just do the right thing, the profits come and the money comes. And so we all live a very comfortable existence from a financial perspective. But you do it by doing what's right by your clients. And it's a little bit easier to just stick with that and to continue to want to grow and to bring on people who share that same value, who share that same excitement and that entrepreneurial spirit and that creative spirit of wanting to be more, do more, and be more. And I think that's what we've captured.
Marc Taylor and Michele Stumpe, folks, from Taylor English. Wow, what a fantastic conversation. Congratulations on your success and the great work you've done over these past number of years. And we look forward to having you back in the future to celebrate further success, because it seems like that's ahead for you. So congratulations on that. Before we let you go, though, let's make sure that we get coordinates out there for those that want to be in touch, learn more about Taylor English. How can they do that?
Michele?
They can come to our website, which is taylorenglish.com. They could also reach out to any of our attorneys. Marc and I are available. It's always our first initial last name. So I'm M. Stumpe at taylorenglish.com. He's M. Taylor at taylorenglish.com. And go to our website. It's broken down by practice areas and industries. If they had a particular need, they could also look and find any one of our great attorneys there.
Terrific. Again, Marc Taylor, Michele Stumpe, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insights with us. We appreciate you and delighted we could shine a light on the great work you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Hey, folks, just a couple of quick things before we let you go for today. If you are a professional services provider and you've got issues trying to express your value, diagnose your value, express that value to clients, and get paid for that value, I've written a book that's for you. It's called The Generosity Mindset, A Journey to Business Success by Raising Your Confidence, Value, and Prices. Go to thegenerositymindset.com to learn more, learn where to buy the book, which is essentially everywhere. Also, I just want to thank you, our listener. You have supported us over these years. This is show number 811 from North Fulton Business Radio. I just noticed that this morning. And we've only gotten this far because of you, because you continue to support us in any number of ways. You obviously listen to the show, but you like us on social media, you give us feedback, you share the show, you send us great guests, and we couldn't do what we do without you. And we are here to be the voice of business in the North Fulton region and beyond. and you help us live into that mission. So thank you for your continued support. So for my guests, Marc Taylor and Michele Stumpe, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.